Good morning, I'm Clinton Griffiths. The supply chain crunch during the pandemic put a spotlight on backups at West Coast ports. But a new report shows a major shift when it comes to U.S. ports. Now, that data shows that as of April 11th, 36% of imported goods arrived through West Coast ports. That's down from 42% in the second half of last year. Now, the East Coast takes in 64%. This is according to 4Kites, a logistics visibility platform. So what's behind the shift? Ag Day's Michelle Rook joins us with an update. Michelle.
Clinton, a chunk of the West Coast shipping business has shifted to the East Coast. Again, it was a result first of the logjam at the ports due to COVID and resulting labor shortages. But now it's linked to the unreliability of shipping with continued slowdowns and temporary work stoppages tied to the ongoing contract negotiations by the unions. Tensions are rising between the Pacific Maritime Association and the International Longshore and Warehouse Union. The two have been negotiating a new 5-year contract since July 1st of 2022. However, work stoppages earlier this month are a red flag that talks are not progressing well. The current contract doesn't apply to bulk grain and soy exports from the West Coast. Those are under a separate contract.
But what it does impact, this contract negotiation along the West Coast is the agricultural shipments that are occurring via container. And one of the most notable examples of that is the meat industry. A lot of meat exports and poultry exports from the United States are loaded into refrigerated containers, and then they make their way to customers primarily in Asia.
Now, while only 4% of soybeans are exported via container, Steenhoek says any slowdown in meat exports trickles down to feed grain and soybean producers.
If the U.S. meat industry, if the U.S. poultry industry is harmed in any way, that's going to have a detrimental impact on soybean farmers and grain farmers in the United States. So these are two industries that are very much linked at the hip.
This is also a big deal for agriculture because a significant volume of fresh fruits and vegetables are exported via containers from West Coast ports. Now, Steenhoek doesn't believe we'll see an actual strike because that would undermine the negotiations. However, they're urging Congress to be on the alert so they can quickly intervene if necessary, and in a similar fashion than with the railroad strike last fall.